But like I was saying, I let my cat in, so she wanted in. But I started thinking about AI and like watching other videos on YouTube and how AI was like becoming, obviously, people are trying to make money, so they're gonna throw out slop. And I just didn't want to be a slop person, to be honest with you. I wanted to. I think with music, everything about it should be real. That's for sure. I think it should be about the artists. I think it should be about the fans. I think it should be about enjoyment and the experience and the people who make music and the people who enjoy it. And I think it needs to be real. So I stopped making those videos. I'm not gonna say a lot, but anyway, but I've got involved in something. So I'm kind of like in the beta phase of it with this new platform that's getting launched called Press Play. So I'm pretty interested. I'm pretty excited. I'm like I said, I'm in the beta test. Where what Press Play does is connect the fan, the artist, and music professionals, which I believe is really missing in music right now. I think the artists who are doing great things are not able to get their music out there because of a corporate machine that demands what they want to play. And I think the thing about, especially in rock and roll music, it's always been, on the outside. The greatest bands came from nowhere. We can name 1,000 of them where they were just, guys either being played on college radio, people singing them in clubs. And I think that's what this platform is trying to do, is get back. Sorry, I'm trying to try not to smack on the table too much because it's like loud. But I'm trying to get the fans connected back to the artists and the artists connected to the fans, and and just making music again. And for the people who love it, yes, AI is becoming a giant thing, even across the music realm. Does it have its tools? Does it have its advantages? Yes. I have a friend, he was a musician, and he's wrote some great songs, and he's used AI to have them sing his songs that he's wrote, which is fine. And and he was honest. He's like, yeah, I just wanted to hear what it sounded like with a singer, so I used it. But he goes, I definitely want to like find a singer and make it live. Again, his creation, what he made. So there's definitely an advantage to it, but I just think with music, I think it always should be real. It always should come from the musician's heart, the songwriter's heart. That's the passion for playing, the passion for creating music that people love. I think that's the most important thing, and I think that's where Press Play will come into play. Well, not just play. Running out of words actually. But I just want to let you guys know that I'm still trying to work on things. Like I said, I'm in this beta phase of Press Play. I'm excited about it and love to see what they've got going on. I'm hoping that it works, for one, that it's successful. I'm definitely, they're in the ground floor. They're asking my opinion, of what works, what doesn't work. I think that's, well, I just never thought I would have like a play in music like this. So I'm pretty excited about it. And I'll let you know how things are going. I'm not saying that I won't stop doing some videos, or I'm trying to figure out a better way. Editing is the biggest part. If you notice, like, yes, I used AI to write scripts and set up the pacing of the video, but definitely went back and edited all the stock bullshit footage out of it and made it my own. But I think I need to figure out how to make this channel more my own and be real like the musicians who are out there creating music and doing their thing. So that's kind of just want to give you guys an update and let you know what I've been up to and why I've been kind of dark for a while, because I've just been trying to figure out what I really want to do with this channel and move forward. And then entering a different phase where I'm going to be obviously, working on a website or an app. I'm not sure, but definitely trying to get, how I grew up with music, radio, physical media. I think physical media actually is coming back. I think, I've been thinking about it myself as far as, supporting the artist again, because that's really the only way they make their money is through selling records and performing live. That's why you see so many, older bands out there on the road again, doing what they do, because, well, streaming and, well, it's not making any money for them. So they make real money when they're out there playing shows. My personal opinion is like, if you can do it and you're still singing those songs the way you sang those songs before, or if you got new great material out there that's worthy, do it. But maybe you can't hit those high notes anymore. Maybe you're not singing up to the par that you used to sing to. Sometimes maybe it's a good time to, like, hey, let's let them remember the good times. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna bag on probably one of my favorite bands ever, Van Halen. I am a David Lee Roth Van Halen fan. I love David Lee Roth. I think, all that shit that him and Eddie and Alex and Michael Anthony made during those times are some of the greatest and best music. Van Halen 1 changed the rock scene. We were coming out of the 70s with the Eagles and a lot of California country music, I guess you could say, very, and then Van Halen happens, and they drop Van Halen 1, Running with the Devil, Eruption, You Really Got Me Now, and it just blew doors. They changed music. Now let's fast forward to now. Dave's out on the road. Should Dave be singing anymore? I don't know. I've heard some isolated audio and thought to myself, like, oh, shit, Dave, I'm just saying. I remember, I saw Dave with Van Halen on a different kind of Truth tour, and to the point where I'm like, oh, wow. Okay, Dave, you're my man. I love you. I think what you guys did back in the day was awesome. I love Eat 'Em and Smile. I think Skyscraper's a great record. Maybe some people will think of, I always said it should be called, David Lee, Steve Vai features David Lee Roth, Anyway, but that's just kind of what I think. I'm kind of rambling on. Like I said, I haven't made a video in a while. Just want to let you guys know what I'm up to. So the more I get into press play, I'll make some updates here. Let you know what I think of it. If it's a site that I think is going to make an impact in music, I hope it makes an impact. I want to make an impact. I think we need to get back to, I've said it before, the world will be a better place if we could all just know that we agree on a song that we all like. Isn't that truth? There's just songs out there that, that bring us all together. So having a drink at my favorite bar and Bob Seger's Old Time Rock and Roll comes on. Everybody in the bar is singing it. From 20-something to my age. So, there's timeless music, and that's the key to anything great about music, is making timeless music. We still listen to a lot of the same stuff because they made timeless music, and that's what needs to be happening right now. Flashes in the pan, your flavor of the month, they'll fade into obscurity, and you'll go, oh yeah, that guy. I had that one song. Could have been a great song. There's plenty of one-hit wonders out there, So anyway, I just thought I'd give you guys a little update on what I've been up to, and out there in the world. We did get through an ice storm here in Nashville. Plenty of people still, without power. I was fortunate. I did not lose power. So if you know somebody who needs help, get out there, help them out, make sure they get what they need. And anyway, that's all I've got. Again, peace.